Welcome to Influenced, a book lovers podcast. I'm Amanda.
I'm Tegan.
And we love books.
Here at Influenced, we cover books we've been influenced to read thanks to the internet, as well as books that have influenced us.
And we are so happy to bring you on this journey with us. Tegan and I are no strangers to books. It is how our friendship has blossomed and flourished and grown. We love talking to each other about the books we read, maybe even debating our perspectives a little bit. And we decided, you know what? It's time to build this community and keep it growing. And we thought a podcast was just going to be the perfect way to do that.
We are really excited to start recording our first episode soon, which will be live to you on February 7th. We'll be covering The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. If you have not read the book before, no worries. Each episode will start out with a short, spoiler-free overview and review from us, and we will give adequate warning before we get into too much detail and start spoiling things.
We're so excited for this, and so we thought we'd dive into who are we? Who is Amanda and Tegan? Like I said, I'm Amanda. I am a huge book nerd. I have been since I was young. Starting with the Harry Potter series is really what dove me into reading, and I think many people here can probably relate to that. And then just reading throughout my childhood, I was that kid that was terrible at sports and loved to go sit in the corner and read a book instead. Through Hunger Games, through the Divergent series, really anything that was pretty popular, I was probably reading. And now I am a 31-year-old adult dirt that just likes to spend my extra time reading books. I love fantasy and like romantasy specifically. I'm the type of person who wants a little bit of romance and a lot of fantasy, but I also will expand my horizons with other books, but typically find myself falling back into my niche areas.
I also adopted a love of books very early in life. Although I didn't read the more popular books like the Harry Potter series until a little bit later in life, I was the child who was constantly getting in trouble for not spending enough time with my family at family reunions because I would rather sit in the corner and read. Not much has changed. One of my favorite childhood reads was The Last of the Really Great Whangdoodles by Julie Edwards. If you have not read it, it is a phenomenal introduction to that whimsical, magical realism fantasy world. I read it over and over again, even as an adult. These days, I do tend to read mostly fantasy. High fantasy, epic fantasy, all of it. I love all of the fantasy. Recently, I have started to enjoy romance a little bit more. Diving into that world of romantasy where it just combines the two is magical. So I am really happy that we're starting this podcast to be able to share all of that with our friends. We would love to connect with you, hear what kind of books you like to read, and what you would enjoy hearing us discuss here on Influence, the Book Lovers podcast. So if you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Influenced Book Podcast.
We are so looking forward to our first episode. We hope you join us on February 7th, wherever you get your podcasts.